Hey Wild, Lauren Wild, the Church Witch here. I am sort of going to dive into this week's Astroforcast. I wasn't able to get into it yesterday. My kids did not have school yesterday, which I thought they were going to, but instead their whatever it's called, their childcare was not available yesterday because they're setting up for an open house. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to kind of blend two things, and that is going to be the astro forecast for the week, as well as the Mystic Musings reveal on the base level. And then the extended will be done in another video, and it will be up on Patreon later today. I'll get you guys those details later. All right, so in terms of the astrology this week, I'm feeling it. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling it for like days now. But the name that I'm going to give for this week, which is August 10th through the 17th, is Between a Rock and a Hard Place. And the reason for that is because this week is pretty much driven by quincunxes, which are some of the most challenging aspects of a chart. Okay, so quincunx is 150 degrees from one aspect to another, and it's like 5 signs over. And a quincunx is basically like an injunction. It looks like a sextile upside down, and it is like this inability to integrate. Okay, it's like they just like don't get along. It's like two parts of the psyche that does not get along, and it makes it really difficult for the psyche to integrate a lesson because they're just very different energies, right? So if you have two quincunxes and a sextile, that's known as a yod, or the finger of God. All right. Now, these are not easy aspects. They're what we call in astrology as hard aspects. And we tend to know quintiles or quincunxes, sorry, not quintiles. Quintiles are helpful, but quincunxes are what we call the rock and the hard place aspect. These are just really hard challenges in the psyche that are always challenging, like a square might be, or an opposition might be. But a square and an opposition, it's like, like what you need to do. A quincunx is like, no matter how hard you try, it just feels hard to make it fit. All right. The answer is trusting your intuition and your integration strategies, right? So with all of that being said, let's kind of drop into the astrology for the week. So yesterday was Monday. The moon moved into Taurus, and the moon is in Taurus today. Now, the moon in Taurus yesterday came into a conjunction with Uranus at 10 degrees. And yesterday, also Mercury in Leo was in a square to that Uranus, where the moon was in a conjunction to. So the last, since Friday of last week, we have just had a lot of like shaky, anxious. Uranus is like earthquakes, lightning strikes. It's just like fast moving. It feels like a tower card. And Mercury is communication and the thought process. And last night, the sun in Leo came into a quincunx with Jupiter, making this today like a really spiritual day, but it's like it doesn't add up. Like it's like it doesn't make sense. There's just a strange quality to it, and I feel it. It just feels like it feels difficult to do anything. Like it's been difficult for me to do this today. It was difficult for me to drop into this space yesterday. It just feels like a very like a structural place that feels hard to push through, but it just needs to be done, right? It can lead to a person feeling very disintegrated, right? Like there's two parts of you always functioning that can't meet in the middle. This can also come through relationally as well, because Leo is a very relational sign. It's very heart driven. And it's in Mercury right now, giving us this sense of our ability to speak our truth and have a backbone and be brave and courageous. And then with Mars moving through Aries, it's definitely interesting. One thing that we do have going for us this week, one of the most positive aspects, is going to be on Thursday. Mars in Aries is going to sextile the sun in Leo. That's going to give us a lot of ambition. It's going to give us a lot of courage and energy to get things done. It's also going to make us potentially a little hasty. But it's just, that's probably one of the most positive aspects of the week. But right now, the third quarter moon was this afternoon at 19 degrees of Taurus. Third quarter moon is always like that last final bit of like that energy that is external. And now we're going to start to really move towards the dark part of the moon and the new moon next week. And it really draws us in an internal. All right. So, Tuesday is, which is today, is a lot about spirituality. Taurus is the Hierophant archetype in tarot, and it is like tradition and it's spirituality and spiritual teachings, philosophy, higher thinking. It could be a good day to meditate, especially with Jupiter involved, which is also a highly spiritual, truth-seeking planet. Okay. Now tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the moon is going to move into Gemini at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be there for, about 2.5 days. So we're going to have a lot of Gemini energy going on, which is going, to be interesting. The North Node is in Gemini at 28 degrees. This is also, I believe it's actually at 27 degrees now. This is also going to like really make us very communicative, very chatty. It's going to give us a drive towards information and curiosity. This is a great time to network. The one thing I will say is that Thursday, Mars, which is in Aries, is going to square Pluto, which is retrograde in Capricorn. This is like a really interesting aspect where like you're gonna feel it. It's been going on where it feels like someone's trying to run a power play on you. It can also be this deep sense of strength depending on where that aspect lays within your chart. But it's like, it almost feels like someone's trying to like run a play on you, or it feels like somebody might be trying to take your power from you. Only you're going to know if that resonates or not, but that's been going on. And it's very like below the surface. And so this is just a time to be, as Ram Dass would say, like be in the witness, right? Like pay attention, and don't make any major commitments right now. We're in the last quarter energy. So if anything, it's time to let some things go, not make more and new commitments. Anytime that Uranus stations retrograde, especially in the sign of Taurus, it's not time right now to just abruptly change something. Okay. Uranus is going to station retrograde on the 15th. We're already in that energy, we've been in that energy for about a week now. But when Mercury squared Uranus over the weekend and came exact yesterday, which was Monday, it really gave us a sense of clarity of like what that could look like. Okay. Like what those conversations were, what those things could be. It's a bit of a release. And then it's like a deeper sense of release to the story that we've been working with for the last 2 years since Uranus moved into Taurus in April of 2018. Okay. In terms of Friday, Mercury in Leo is going to quincunx Jupiter. This gives us like this sense of ambition and optimism, but don't like overcommit yourself. Like it gives you this sense of overcommitting, but then you could find yourself realizing you're overcommitted and then be a little regretful that you committed in that energy. So just like I said, when the moon starts to wane down, it is not a time to take on a bunch of commitments. It's time to start letting some stuff go. The moon is going to move into Cancer at 7:35 p.m. on Friday. That's going to put us in our feels. It's going to really start to draw us inward by Friday. This weekend might be more of a time to sort of like lick our wounds and come down. And then Saturday is a really big day. All right. So Saturday, Mercury in Leo quincunxes Neptune. This creates this high sense of fantasy and illusion. The sun in Leo is quincunx Pluto. Oh, that one's going to be really interesting. Saturday is set up to be a very far-reaching emotional day, and then Uranus will retrograde at 10 degrees of Taurus later on Saturday as well. Although that aspect is set up pretty positively. It's like the change that happens is for your good. And Uranus is all about freedom. And so it's about understanding Uranus moving through Taurus for the 7 to 8 years that it goes through it, especially because Taurus wants to hold on to everything. It wants to possess everything it has. It's very fixed. It does not want to move. It does not like change. And Uranus is change and freedom. Is that it's about understanding that what, you might feel like it got taken from you. But it's about the shift of the perception, which is that this is freedom. Trust me, like I get it. Just I'm like another thing to let go of. Great. But it is definitely that is the aspect that's looking for is freedom. And then Sunday, the sun is going to trine Mars, which is going to give us a lot of energy, charisma, magnetic charm. But that aspect on Saturday will linger for about a week as we get into dark moon energy. And it can feel like dark thoughts. It can feel a little heavy. It could feel oppressive. Again, it's just remembering that, the energy that these quincunxes cause is like literally like almost feeling awkward. It almost feels like things don't fit. Like it's like these two things do not fit in the same category. There's like discord and it requires a level of adjustment. So this week, I know for me, I'm moving into more of a like the witness. Like I'm watching. I'm not making major moves. I'm not making major changes. I'm just kind of like being with what is. And I am definitely not trying to start shit that is not necessary. I'm really trying to be deeply committed to grace and to peace and to being the witness for others and just holding ground. Because I feel like, if you're really trying to get out there and be a crusade for whatever it is, you put yourself in that space with all of this Leo energy. It's all about being seen as that, like, you will definitely be seen. And that could be good or bad, however you perceive that. For me, I'm just like stepping back and letting be what is and being a witness to it. But you guys are obviously welcome to do whatever you want to do. So let's use that energy to kind of move into the Mystic Musings for our highest message for the week. Maybe the message that you get will help answer any questions as to how that might show up for you. And then the extendeds will be up on Patreon shortly after. Okay. All right. So hopefully you guys saw this. This is the Archetypes deck by Kim Kranz of The Wild Unknown. And so just decide which card you want. Left, center, right. For the week of August 10th through the 17th. Is it the left? Is it the center? Is it the right? All right, here we go. Left is the box. Okay. I love her cards. They're so pretty. The center is the vessel. And then the right is the siren. Ooh. And just so you guys know, my children are home and there's nothing I can do about it. So if you hear them yelling and being silly, well, welcome to my world. This is what it looks like being a single mom with 3 boys. Solomon is being very loud because he's an Aries and a Leo rising, and he literally doesn't know how to be anything other than loud. So, all right. Now, I will tell you, I love this deck, but it is very strangely put together, and it is always hard for me to find what I'm trying to find. Okay, the box. We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or to simply stay small. There's a box around you now made of some type of confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will represent itself to you. Keep going, break through. An exquisite life requires it. It's good. All right, the next is the vessel, which is kind of similar in a lot of ways. Sorry, not that one. You know what? I'm just going to go to the front. Y'all let me know how you guys are doing, please. Oh, hi, Theron. It's good to see you. Well, I guess I can't see you, but know that you're there. Y'all let me know how you're doing, how this weekend was for you. This weekend was a little intense for me. Still trying to recover from it. All right. 203. The vessel. The body, the container, the cup. So we had a box, so now we got a vessel. The vessel might be the most powerful archetype from Earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquid, stoves hold fire, our bodies hold organs, and our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, the vessel protects what it contains. Nests protect eggs, saving accounts protect our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it's time to assess what is being held together and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, broken, empty, full? Or perhaps there's no vessel at all and the contents spill in every direction. It is natural for all structures to be formed and eventually fall apart. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. Is it time for you to break, build, or repair? Only you can figure it out. It's time to figure it out. When it's light, stable, strong, and graceful. When it's dark, it feels trapped or like being in a bubble. Ooh, interesting. All right, last one is the siren. And then we will close out. For my children, come, I feel it. I can just feel them being ready to run through the door. The siren, the temptress, the seducer, the femme fatale. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters. And the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, down, down to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option. Unless it's like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our own ship. It is likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come alive to live more fully on the surface. When light, awaken sensuality, absorption, arousal. When dark, wickedness, adultery, wreckage, betrayal, and insatiability. All right. So this was our reading for the week. Make sure that you like, subscribe. Let me know how it went for you. And then if you know you want the deeper understanding of how this correlates to your life with all of the astrology this week, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Lauren Wild. And to get the weekly extended readings, it is at the Wild Beloved tier, which is $11 a month. If you know you want to be in my coven, it's $33 a month. You get all of that. Plus, you also get a live full moon and a teaching every single month, as well as a yoga sequence. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.